Hi everyone, welcome to Learning Midlane, where we talk about the basics and advanced fundamentals of midlane. So if you're just wanting to pick up the role or want to focus on mastering your fundamentals in midlane, this is definitely the place for you to be. My name is Kurai. I've been a freelance coach for a couple of years now. My most notable work is definitely working with Lyric, the current English LPL caster, and as well as Crow, who's been also a coach for several regions in several teams, mostly getting top fours in most of their regular seasons. So if you don't believe me, you could at least get some credibility from them. So without further ado, let me introduce what this whole episode is going to be about. First of all, we are definitely going to talk about how, or rather, where you can stand in lane. But I'd like to address my coaching philosophy when it comes to mid lane. I believe that basics and fundamentals are your strongest core as your mid lane. As a mid laner, because without basics or fundamentals, you can't really build your way up. You have to have the base before moving upwards as a better mid laner. Alright, so in the first few episodes, you're definitely going to be looking at a lot of simple and basic terms in mid lane, but I assure you, as the episodes go by, I will definitely be talking about much more advanced and even much more detailed concepts about mid lane. So moving on, about the topic on Lane Waffle, as you can see in the title, I want to talk about where you as a millionaire should be standing in mid lane. The reason for this is because when I was coaching a lot for individuals, the most frequent question that I get asked is, "Hey Kurai, where should I stand in the lane? Where is it that where I won't die? Where is it where I can play aggressive? Blah blah blah." Right? And I thought, okay, let me make you a grid right here. So if you look at the photo or the picture that I'm presenting right here, you can see that there's three states in the lane, right? Safe, interactive, and dangerous, right? Let me just use my pen. All these states, there's three different reasons for them. Okay, so let me explain what is safe first, okay? Because I want to make sure the viewers understand. You guys understand, all right? So what is safe? Safe, right? You're safe from ganks. You're secure. You're safe and secure from dying to the enemy jungler. Why? Because you're closer to your turret. Okay. When you're closer to your turret, it's really difficult. Okay, unless it's a plant setup. That's different. But in solo queue, assuming that you're around gold, platinum, or sometimes even low diamond, it's very difficult for the enemy to kill you when you're in this spot right here. Okay, because you're one closer to your turret. It's easier for your teammates to respond because you're closer to them, assuming that they are around the raptors or wolves. All right. So it's safe. You don't die for free most of the time. If you do die for free, it's something else. It's the 20%. What I mean by that is 80% of the time you should be safe here. 20% of the time, it's out of that 80%. Well, duh, it's out of that 80% range. But 20% of the time, it's either the enemy has set up something really well, or you're trolling, you're win trading. All right, that's just it. So moving forward, what is the interactive state here? The interactive state is what I like to call when both chemicals, you and the enemy millionaire react. So the reason why this is the interactive state is because it's in the middle of the lane. This is usually where minions collide, right? When minions collide, your number one priority most of the time as a millionaire is that you need to CS. And when you're CSing, trading happens. This is where all that stuff, trading, CSing, usually happen. Of course, unless you're talking about you're pushed in or you're getting pushed out. That's different. But in more consistent circumstances, this is where you and the opposing millionaire would likely trade, where junglers would come from this direction or this direction, depending on which tile you're on. There's 8 tiles in the mid lane, 10 if you include these river tiles, right? So this is why I call it the interactive state in the lane. Now, moving up and furthest away from your turret, it's the dangerous tiles. The reason why I call this dangerous is, again, you're furthest away from your turret, meaning if the enemy does gank you or if you're gonna get killed, you have to run all the way back. It's not ideal. Now, in other circumstances, if the enemy comes from this direction or comes from this direction, you're very screwed. There's no chance for you to escape unless you're a faker, in which case you shouldn't be watching this video. All right. So again, this is why I call it the dangerous spot. You're overextended. You're definitely looking to get killed here or get punished by the enemy. If you're in this spot, either you're trying to set up something or you're trying to very likely tower dive the enemy. All right. So that's mostly it when it comes to tiles. Now I want to explain just a bit into a deeper of this concept, where why are there tiles? Why won't you just say, okay, why not just do this? Where you can say, okay, closer turret safe, middle lane interactive, further dangerous. The reason why there's tiles is, again, remember earlier when I said that depending on which tile you're on, you might be safe or in danger of a gank or getting killed from the enemy. So imagine a world where your jungler is around bot side, right? Now, if that's the case, you should be standing right here, right? Let me just use color code so it's easier. You should be standing right here. If the enemy is ganking from this side, if you just hover down into here, where your jungler is, it's EO, you guys can't see, where you just hover around here, bot side, where your jungler is, it's easy for you to survive a gank. Hence why there's tiles. Now this is just one of the reasons. Another reason could be how you want to interact with the enemy laner, right? You could be, say, hey, the enemy laner is right here, I'm right here, okay? Cases are, it's unlikely that you guys are gonna go for a trade because you guys are not mirrored. Because you guys are further from each other compared to if you're standing here, it's closer. Right? If you guys are in the same file where it's closer compared to a different file, it's harder for the enemy to interact with you as well as yourself, and vice versa, basically. All right. So that's also another reason. Another well, last reason here, well, not last, but like another thing that I could give an example of is that if you want to pull off or set up a gank for your jungler, say that he's coming from top side, all right, and the enemy is standing right, let's say in the middle of the lane. Cases could be that you could move around here and force the enemy to walk here, right? Because sometimes they don't want to trade with you, but if you walk here, they're forced to go onto top side here, where they're like, okay, if you walk here, I'll walk there. This is just the simple basics of mid lane. Because remember, if they stand in the middle lane, they will fight you. And if they don't want to fight you, they have to go up. Alright? Simple enough to understand? Great. So that would be most of this would be actually the end of the first episode. Again, it's very simple, it's very basic. But I promise as the episodes go on, I will definitely make more advanced and more detailed guides. Let me know in the comments below what you guys want me to talk about. Guides, perhaps I can speak of. But without dragging you guys on further, thanks for watching. I really appreciate you staying to the end of the video, and I'll definitely see you in the next one. Bye.